The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to a special bonus episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave. Are you ready to dumb it down with me? That's fantastic. This is bonus Dumbing It Down with Dave. It's bonus time. I am here on the New York State Thruway. I'm on a break, so it's okay for me to do whatever I want. I'm on a break. And I kind of feel like I owe you a couple of episodes here and there. So I figured let me do a bonus episode. And I want to catch up on listeners' comments because I just did episode 151. And I noticed that I'm up to episode 142 on listeners' comments, which might not be important to you because you could read them, but a lot of you don't even write them, so I'm surprised that you would even read them. And so I'm going to read them for you. And most of them will be Linda from Awesome Insanity Surfers, and that's fine. And every so often other people chime in, which is great, like Pat. But, of course, I just want to let you know that how much I appreciate when any of you chime in here on the Spreaker app and leave a listener's comment. I notice a lot of you are now listening on Spotify. A lot of you are, even more than Spreaker. The problem with Spotify and all these other apps, these podcast platforms, is that they don't have a comment section. I think Podbean does. I don't know if Stitcher does. And you can always leave comments on Apple Podcasts, but it's not for every show. It's like once you leave a 5-star rating, which I assume you would give me a 5-star rating, and then leave a review, that's for like the body of work. I guess you could just constantly leave reviews for each in particular show. So I'm sure in the show notes somewhere is a link to this show in Apple Podcasts. So if you feel so inclined, you can always leave a review for every show. And of course, a 5-star rating. But the thing is, that's not really what Apple Podcasts is there for. The Spreaker comment section is there for every show. Listen, I would love it if you guys would flood Apple Podcasts with reviews for every show, and then leave me questions and or comments. And I mean, it makes no difference to me. It's all for free. It's all relatively easy to do. But one of the reasons why I really like the Spreaker platform is because you can comment on every show. You click like, comment, and share every show, and download every show. Can't do that with a lot of other platforms. Anyway, I've made that clear. I've talked about it before, and I just really do enjoy when you guys comment. I see numbers and the statistics when I go behind the scenes at Spreaker and all that. It's just really hard to sort of gauge really what the numbers say and what they mean. Numbers, I don't know. They say 60 of this and 150 of that and this and that. I don't know. I just would rather have the comment section. That's the one number I want. If this comment section could be filled up every show. I mean, it doesn't fill up. It's infinite. But, to see 10 different people commenting, that would be really great. And then I could respond. And we could do a little bit on the show, every show to comment on the previous show. And maybe that'll inspire me to talk more about certain issues and topics as opposed to just my own personal life. I'm just saying. Anyway, thank you, Alex Exum, for doing the intro at the top of the show. That's alexexum.com. And he does live talk every Tuesday night, which was last night on the 17th of September. He did a 1-hour show. All right, there we go. So let's continue on here. I'm going to try. Was there anything else I wanted to tell you? No, that was basically it. Let's go to episode 142. Is I don't lean left, I don't lean to the right. Let me just see what it says here. I don't lean left or right, I move forward to the truth. That was the name of episode number 142. So in episode number 142 of Dumbing It Down with Dave, Dave becomes uninspired with the candidates' answers in the latest U.S. Democratic presidential debate. Dave then continues to advocate for the truth, particularly about knowing when to admit lack of knowledge. Furthermore, hear him read and respond to comments in his previous podcast episodes, ending the episode by remembering a fond instance of experiencing joy while in a drag race track in Englishtown, New Jersey, years ago. Yeah, drag race track. I think that's what I did, in fact, call it. Anyway, and by the way, thank you to Pauline in the Philippines for helping me out with a lot of the aspects of this podcast behind the scenes that I really just don't have time for. Great job, Pauline. All right, well, my first comment was thank you so much for listening and politely commenting. I always like when you guys politely comment. And I say politely because I don't have an agenda. So for somebody to come on here and get all angry and say this and that and, make judgments and, that would really depress me. That would make me sad. It would make me feel bad. I try not to have that type of show going out. I would like to have not that type of show coming back. All right, Linda Irwin, first comment in episode 142. Our lives have changed due to this administration. The order to medical centers to stop and or decrease opioid painkillers has affected two of my loved ones. One has to go to a weekly pain clinic where they feel like they are in a drug rehabilitation program, complete with drug tests and only getting weekly other pain medications. The other loved one is told to do physical therapy in place of pain relief after chemo for cancer. So I'm going to just assume and or make an educated guess, not assume, that Linda is saying not that good. I don't think she's that happy with the way things are for her loved ones. So if that is the truth, then Linda, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you there. Linda Irwin writes again, I hope they do not ban all foods. By the way, I don't recall calling for a ban, but maybe I did. I don't know. I hope they do not ban all foods that are not good for you, she writes in quotations, or cigarettes. Cigarettes are now safer than vaping. That might be true. And, how could it not be true? Tobacco is natural that comes from the ground, and vaping stuff is chemicals to simulate smoking. What a dumb idea. Yes, they can give the statistics. Yes, they can give statistics. I would agree to that. About the only junk I ingest is the sugar in my morning power shake. I think that means coffee. I think as long as the public is aware, it is up to them to make their own choices. I've not been to a doctor in 10 years. Wow. So not on any prescriptions, with Tylenol being the only OTC over the counter, only as needed. By the way, I'm not really a fan of these abbreviations. I just want to let you know, because I never seem to know them. But OTC I did know was over the counter. All right, so wow, not to be a doctor in 10 years. Not sure if that's a great idea, but I understand why you would do that. And then my comment is the last comment. Among hundreds of election speeches given, what would you want to hear a presidential candidate say? Tell your thoughts in the comments. Better yet, check out, like, and share more of my podcast episodes at Dumbing It Down with Dave. Enjoy listening. There you go. All right, that was episode 142. Let's go to episode 143. I'm going to race go-karts. Absolutely. I love the title. It's one of my favorite titles. In episode 143 of Dumbing It Down with Dave, Dave talks about a resonant part of his life, transportation. Hear Dave share about his passion for go-kart racing and dream to enroll in a go-kart racing school. Spoiler alert, it exists. He also relates a recent incident at work wherein he was delayed for an hour and a half at the Long Island Railroad crossing, even though no trains were passing through it. Yes, I remember that night. It was horrible. Interested in the discussion? Share your thoughts here at Spreaker in the comment section, or tweet them at Done with Dave. Don't forget to also share the episode on your other social media platforms. Yes, thank you very much. Great job in the show notes there. I love it. Here's a quote of mine, I guess. I love discipline. I do. The fact that you can be good at something. I love the fact that you can be good at something. Yeah, I do like that. All right, there we go. That was. I'm just scrolling down here in the comment section. You can also watch and subscribe to Dave as he talks about living in his Honda Fit as well as his newly purchased Dodge Caravan during his work week, and allowing himself to exchange 2 hours of commuting for 2 hours of exercise along with more sleep. Head over to Dave's Fit Life on YouTube. Great job, Pauline. Way to go. All right, here we go. 4 comments for episode 143. I start off by saying thank you so much for listening to episode 143. I apologize for the sound being a little bit off, but I was using a different microphone because the one I was using for the last 40 or 50 episodes broke on me, so I had to go to a backup microphone. I'm going to the Apple store to get extra microphones, but then again, I'll be down by Podcast Moving in Orlando, so maybe I'll get new ones down there that are even better. Wow, okay, this is right before that. All right, happy birthday on Monday from Linda Irwin. She wrote, happy birthday on Monday. Linda Irwin also wrote, I want to learn how to stay awake during the evening news. And then that was it. Then I wrote, what new ventures are you planning to explore before the year ends? Have you already taken steps to fulfill them? Tell your story in the comments. It would be great to hear them. Better yet, check out and like and share more of my podcast episodes on Spreaker. There you go. 2 comments from Linda. This is, what I'm saying. I love Linda commenting. I really do. And I don't mind saying her name. I don't mind reading her comments. And I definitely enjoy Awesome Insanity Surfers. I just think it would be great if the other people who are listening, apparently there are 30, 40, 50, 60, sometimes 150 people downloading. I'm just amazed that more people just don't comment. Hey, man, hey, Dave, just heard your show. Great job. Just quick and short. Of course, I would appreciate it if you would engage. I just, I know it's just me because I engage with a lot of different shows. And I just don't understand why people don't. Episode 144, guest Jason Juliet, NASA and something else. I don't know what the P stands for. But, Podcast Movement probably. In episode number 144 of Dumbing It Down with Dave, Dave gears up for his special birthday episode with his guest and fellow podcaster Jason Juliet. Here, Dave and Jason discuss how they thought of each other when they first met at Podcast Movement 2018, how they became roommates for Podcast Movement 2019, and how they found their drive from Philadelphia to Orlando uneventful, and how they got to tour the NASA facilities in Florida. Yeah, that was really great. The NASA facilities in Florida were fantastic. All right. What's this quote? So she quotes, I like what Pauline does here. We did sort of connect in a way where we both feel people go to the extremes, one way or the other, and they often don't take the time to look for the middle and just realize that there's something else other than the extreme that you're going to. It's a great job. I like that. I like that she does that. All right. Good job, Pauline. All right. Here are the comments for 144. Linda Irwin starts, glad you had a great birthday. Linda Irwin writes, yes, sir, that is correct. I don't know what that's a response to. Linda Irwin writes, Jesus Land. Do they have Jesus impersonators? Yes, actually, we found out it's called Holy Land, I think. Like Dolly World or whatever, called Holy Land. Great episode. Good job interviewing your roommate. Joe Foley wrote that. Joe Foley wrote, from no sitting on the sidelines, Dad. He wrote, great episode. Good job interviewing your roommate. I think Joe is sincere there. Or he's upset that I didn't interview him when we were in Philadelphia. We never got around to it. It's, what can I tell you? Joe Foley and I are going to meet up one day somewhere halfway between New Hampshire and Saugerties, and I will interview him. He will interview me. And yes, and my last comment is from me, or next to the last comment says, someone contacted me, said it was called Holy Land. And then I wrote at the end, huge thanks to Jason for joining me on this episode. How did you find it? Comment your thoughts here. Better yet, check out, like, and share more of my podcast episodes at Spreaker.com. All right, good job there, everybody, commenting on episode 144. All right, we're catching up here. Let me see. We're at 145. How much time do we have here? Oh, we got plenty of time. We got 13 minutes, to go here.
Dave, dear, this is Emma.
Oh, hello,
May
Emma.
I ask you something?
You can ask me anything you want, Emma.
You seem to be really thirsty.
I am thirsty.
Should we
for
take
you.
a drink break?
Well, sure. You're a big, tall drink right there, Emma. All right, here, I'll have a little water with apple cider vinegar.
That's great. Carry on.
Oh, man. Something about that voice gets me crazy. All right, here we go. Little fantasy, AI fantasies there. All right, little AI love for Emma. All right. I wouldn't be looking at any pictures of bakeries if I was with Emma. Episode 145. I'm dying here. In episode number 145 of Dumbing It Down with Dave, Dave is back behind the wheel with guest and fellow podcaster Jason Juliet riding shotgun in Dave's Dodge Caravan. Join Dave and Jason as they have one of their liveliest conversations yet on embarrassing ways to die. That is true. It was a whole show about embarrassing ways to die. And what does she write down here? What if you discover that you will be dying alone, buried somewhere? What will you say to yourself? That's funny. Good job there, Pauline. Way to go. All right. I like how it's like a fortune cookie thing, like a little quote down there. Very, very interesting that she does that. I like that. All right. Linda Irwin wrote, that pancake house puts a whole new spin on restaurant diving. I don't remember what that was in reference to. Restaurant diving. I don't remember. I think the most embarrassing way to die would be like Elvis Presley, on the toilet. Is that true? Did he really die on the toilet? I don't remember that. Joe Foley writes, great episode. I know that I was in Canada in a hotel at the time that he died. I was in a camp, a day camp, and we went on a trip to Canada. And then the last comment is Dave Canyon. What do you think is the most embarrassing way to die? Comment them here. I'm excited to hear them. Better yet, check out and like and share more of my podcast episodes at Dumbing It Down with Dave and Spreaker.com. All right, there you go. That was episode 145. Duffy could have had a lot more comments there. I had a whole conversation about embarrassing ways to die. And you guys didn't really dig that show, I guess. I don't know. Episode 146, simply titled NASA. It was just simply titled NASA. I didn't think it was really needed anything else. In episode number 146 of Dumbing It Down with Dave, Dave delivers an insightful episode on being part of a behind-the-scenes tour of NASA during his stay in Orlando, Florida for Podcast Movement 2019. Dave narrates his experience of being introduced to the Artemis program, exploring NASA facilities, and meeting a diverse set of scientists, engineers, and creators, most of whom should be considered America's national treasures. All right, that's a little extreme. I don't know about national treasures, but definitely America's most brilliant scientists and people in the United States. All right, what's the little quote down here? I like when she has the little quote. Oh, wow, you got a link? There's a link to the Artemis program here she put down here. Jason Juliet's podcast. Wow, there's a lot of good links in here. Here's a quote. This might be from me. I don't know where she got this. Pauline got this from. It is important that the education system in America is great because when you see these people from NASA, who you would assume are at the top of their field, to have the mindset to be excellent, to be open-minded to the possibilities, because that's what NASA is. I did say that. Great job, Pauline. What is this with the open parenthesis and close parenthesis with the 3 dots? That's like the symbol for editing? You're a smart girl. I like that quote. All right, here we go. Episode 147. Slow pokes to the right and fasties to the left. I do like that title too. All right, slow pokes to the right, fasties to the left. In episode number 147 of Dumbing It Down with Dave, Dave talks about his recent travel to Orlando, Florida for Podcast Movement 2019, where he gets confused using Google Maps while driving his Dodge Caravan, meets old friends and finds new ones, and starts to look forward to the opportunities and the possibilities of Podcast Movement 2020. Excellent. There you go. All right. And then I talked about Samantha Lane Purvis, Perception Gaps podcast at the Christian Science Monitor. So there's a link in the show notes for that. And there's Twitter links here. There's Instagram links. A lot of links. And here's a quote I guess I said. Wait a minute. We already did this one. Oh, so she repeated the one from the last episode. All right, that's good. I'll read it again. It is important that the education system in America is great because when you see these people from NASA, who you would assume are at the top of the field, to have the mindset to be excellent, to be open-minded to the possibilities, because that's what NASA is. All right, excellent. So let's read some comments from episode 147. 8 comments. Wow. All right, 8 comments. I start off by saying thank you for listening. Please free. Oh, wow, look what I wrote. Please free to politely comment. Oh, boy. Okay. Linda Irwin writes, our Highway 95 makes a wicked turn in Weiser, W-E-I-S-E-R, that is not easy to see, especially at night coming up. And decades ago, we got lost a couple times coming from Oregon. Oh yeah, I was talking about how I always get lost somehow between Philadelphia and D.C., like through Baltimore. It's it's the weirdest thing. I've been lost several times. Not on the way down, I don't think I've been lost. On the way back, I always seem to get lost. Somehow I get off of 95. I don't even want to talk about it. It's so embarrassing. It's like 2 or 3 times I've ended up on the streets of Baltimore, and I don't know why. Something is directing me to get off the streets of I-95, the I-95 road and get on the Bolt. I don't know. All right, Linda writes, a couple of weeks ago, filling a flat tire so we could drive to get the tire repaired. Our tire was filled and the Air Master portable compressor exploded. That was the first time using it, even though it had been on a Bronco for years, way past warranty expiration. Oh, boy. Generally, your show notes are in your RSS feed and will appear where the Spreaker shows are shared. Okay. Tomorrow, Linda writes, tomorrow you will see what Emma wants Harry to do when he comes on your show? LOL. Did I ever get to see that? Tomorrow you will see what Emily wants Harry to do when he comes on your show. All right. I don't know if I ever saw that. Black cats. Sometimes they come back. Yeah, I was talking about when I pulled over at a gas station just south of Washington, D.C., and there was a black cat. And that would have been the third black cat. If I had picked it up and taken it home, it would have been the third one in the last, 15, 20 years or whatever. And my black cat, my second black cat had just died. And this one was a kitten, and it just looked right at me. And I was like, hey, how you doing? I'm next. Take me home. And I'm like, oh, boy, I can't have another cat. Joe Foley writes, good episode. Looking forward to more episodes. Thank you, Joe. And then I wrote, last but not least, truly excited for what's in store for Dumbing It Down with Dave in the coming year. What would you like to have on the show? Comment them here. Better yet, check out, like, and share more of my podcast episodes at Spreaker.com, Dumbing It Down with Dave. All right, there you go. All right, wow, we're almost caught up here. Oh, 21 minutes. All right, good. Let's go to episode, well, this must be 148. Episode 148. I titled it, Fire, Fire, Where? Over there, Fire. All right. In this episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave, Dave decides to let go of his show's numbering system because of a recording mishap of another episode. Yeah, that's true. Come along for the ride as Dave tells you his thoughts on unreceived emails, targeted advertisements, Mount Everest, and fire alarm systems on mountaintops. By the way, there's no podcast in the world that's going to cover that wide range of topics. Mount Everest, fire alarm systems on mountaintops, and unreceived emails. That's quite a variation. All right, so there's some links in the show notes to the Facebook group and DaveCanyon.com and Instagram and Twitter, my email address. Okay, I think there's somebody out there, somebody just having a good time. I guess I said that during the show. I love this little fortune cookie thing that Pauline does. It's really clever. I think there's somebody out there. Somebody's just having a good time. Oh, I think that was in reference to manipulating my life. That's what I think that's in reference to. It's very funny. Great job, Pauline. I like that she does that. All right, 7 comments for episode 147. Really good. Thank you for listening to this episode, I wrote. Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you for allowing me to dumb things down a bit. Please feel free to comment politely and share this with your world. I appreciate it all. Joe Foley wrote, at work. I must have asked you where you were when you're listening. Linda Irwin wrote, you can privatize your episodes where they need a direct link so you can get payment before you send them the link, but there is no guarantee they will not share it with others who can listen to it for free. Oh, yeah, I was talking about if you wanted to go back and listen to the earlier episodes. They're really horrible. Very, very horrible. And I really should delete them, or I should just do something. But I think if people want to hear them, I'm going to charge you to hear them because they're so bad, and I just might as well make some money off of them. If I'm going to be embarrassed that you listen to it, I might as well get paid for it. All right, September 5th, Yahoo email servers went down, Linda wrote, for 8 hours after midnight. Some people never got their emails. Some lost ones they already had. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Linda Irwin wrote, keep your web camera and or microphone unplugged unless you're actually using it. I also shut down my modem when not in use. That's a good idea. Linda Irwin writes, wait until it metastasizes. Yes, I was talking about some sort of cancerous growth. I have no idea. But yeah, metastasizes was the word. And then I wrote, what challenges have you been facing recently, and how are you dealing with them? Let's talk about them. Better yet, check out, like, and share more of my podcast episodes at Spreaker.com and Dumbing It Down with Dave. Want to learn more about what I do? Head over to my website at DaveCanyon.com. Okay, there you go. That was episode 147, I think, or 148. 149, wow, we're almost caught up here. How much time do I have? 5 more minutes. Oh, we've got to make this quick then. All right. Jerry Lewis and the Telethon, episode 149. In episode 149 of Dumbing It Down with Dave, Dave relates his recent watch of the Jerry Lewis MDA Labor Day Telethon via YouTube. Dave also nurses a conversation on his visiting parents in Brooklyn and milks his thoughts on the long work hours he puts in as a truck driver. There's a lot of references there. And then here's the little comment here in the show notes. It was a unifier, the telethon. The country was unified for that day. Absolutely. All right, great job. Really great job, Pauline. I like that you do that. It's really kind of Brilliant. I commented in the comment section, thank you for listening to this episode. Please feel free to politely comment whatever it is that you are feeling and are thinking about this particular episode, on this particular episode. I would love it if you could share this with your world via Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That is true, folks. I really would love you if you share this and try to, spread the word. Linda Irwin wrote, sometimes silence is golden. Oh, yeah, that was because I wanted to drive in silence the other night. Linda Irwin also wrote, can Martians exhale through their antennae? Boy, I don't know. You got to ask Zartran about that. Patrick Mason wrote, show 150 is a milestone. Yeah, I understand that, but, I'm not really into all that. All right. And then I comment, of course, at the end about you guys commenting. All right. 150, 151. Oh, that's it. How much time do I have? Oh, boy, that was fast. 25 minutes left. All right, so I guess we can do it. Let's do 150. All right. The benefits of distracted driving, right? I already did 149? Yeah. The benefits of distracted driving. In episode 150, Dumbing It Down with Dave, Dave takes a milestone, marks a milestone as the pragmatic podcaster with the response to a Facebook group comment on his distracted driving. Yes, that's what I was doing, responding to a Facebook group comment. Also, Dave realizes that he might run out of fuel at the end of the show. Will he or won't he? That is a good question. Did I or did I not run out of fuel during the episode? And then the little quote here in the show notes is, we live in such a sensitive time, and I'm a very sensitive guy, but sometimes I think there's overreach. That is absolutely true. All right, there's 5 comments for episode 150 here, my milestone comment here. Thank you for listening and possibly commenting politely, blah, 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 blah. Okay, Linda wrote, here in Idaho, they are working on sipping a drink through a straw, or lifting a soda can, smoking or eating, or even changing a radio station as distracted driving that will cost you if you get caught. Ay, ay, ay. Horrible. Linda Irwin wrote, shooing an insect out of your window, distracted. Wiping sweat off your forehead, distracted. Scratching your shoulder, distracted. Look at your windshield after a rock hits it, distracted. Absolutely right. Linda Irwin also wrote, Dawson may never come back, so you may just be stuck with me. Oh, that's okay. And then I make the final comment. So, what do you consider distractions while driving? Let me know in the comments. Better yet, listen and share. All right. And then earlier today, I did episode 151, but it's too easy for comments. Yeah, let's just wait on 151. We'll do that next episode. We'll do it now. Do we have time? 2 more minutes. I think we can do it really quickly. I love living life on the edge. All right. Episode 151, I've been hacked. Linda Irwin wrote, I've never gotten notified from Spreaker when someone comments on my shows. I have to go look manually. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of comments on your shows there, Linda. Linda also wrote, go back to the beginning of October 2018 when I began doing them solo. Dawson and I are in the classic rewind section, which is the beginning of June 2018 through September 2018. All right, Linda Irwin also wrote, Bob, or is it Bob, is missing with the other men. And then Linda Irwin wrote, I do not miss Facebook. Yeah, definitely. Awesome Insanity Surfers has this thread, has a plot. Something is coming. Something is happening. All these guys are missing from Never Ever World, or whatever the place is called. Nowheresville. Nowheresville. And then Dr. Brighton has come back for some reason. And then he has an assistant, Patsy, or something like that. And now she's working for the Digital Detective Agency. I don't know. I think it's not a convoluted plot. I am definitely following it, which is very rare for me. But I like that whole sort of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Monty Python-ish type of thing that's happening there. And I think something is happening. But no matter what's happening, there is comedy around all of that. And there's characters and character development and interaction. And I like all that. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed that bonus episode of me going back. I don't know how many episodes they just did. 8 episodes, 9 episodes of comments and all that. So that's it. That's about 30 minutes, okay? So goodbye. And by the way, comment on the show and comment on the other shows. It's never too late to comment, all right? I'd love to hear from you. Goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance, good rats, great skills. Good day. I knew I missed one. Goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance, good rats, Godspeed, and great skills.